Have you ever wondered if an act that seems deeply personal, instinctive, and familiar, like morning masturbation, could silently impact your health after the age of 60? Many older men see it as a way to relieve stress, a part of their daily routine, something familiar, simple, and harmless. But after 60, our bodies no longer function the way they used to. Blood vessels, nerves, hormones, and even the body's recovery capacity have all changed. If you continue with the same old habits without listening to your new body, you may be harming your health without even realizing it. Today's video isn't about shaming. It's a gentle reminder that it may be time to become more mindful about how we care for ourselves. Because sometimes just a few small adjustments in the morning can help protect your energy, your strength, and your masculine vitality. Now let's explore 7 risky habits associated with morning masturbation that many men over 60 still practice, and how to do it in a healthier, more balanced way. 1. Masturbating immediately after waking up, before your body is fully awake. Many men have the habit of masturbating as soon as they open their eyes, treating it as a way to start the day. But the truth is, after a long night's sleep, your body, especially your cardiovascular system, blood pressure, and nervous system, isn't quite ready to handle intense stimulation. You may feel lightheaded, tired, or notice your heart racing more than usual. It's not that the act itself is wrong, it's that you're doing it at the wrong time. At that moment, your blood vessels are still constricted from sleep. Your blood pressure is adjusting, your body is slightly dehydrated, and your joints and muscles haven't warmed up. If you push yourself into intense stimulation too soon, you might not feel satisfaction, but rather fatigue, weakness, and over time, a decline in sexual vitality. Make a change. Give your body a few minutes to truly wake up. Drink a glass of warm water, take some deep breaths, stretch gently, and walk around a bit. Once your circulation is going and your mind feels alert, you'll likely experience greater pleasure, more clearly and fully, without paying the price of exhaustion afterward. If you've ever felt drained or sluggish after relieving yourself early in the morning, try adjusting the order of things. Let your body prepare first, then let instinct take the lead. 2. Watching pornography right after waking up. Many older men have the habit of reaching for their phones the moment they wake up, browsing explicit content to stimulate desire. For them, it's simply a way to jumpstart the day, a bit of gentle stimulation to get the body moving. But what most people don't realize is that this seemingly harmless act has a deeper impact on the brain, especially after age 60. When you first wake up, your body is in a delicate transition state. At that moment, your cortisol levels, the hormone linked to stress and the sleep-wake cycle, are at their highest. Meanwhile, your brain is particularly sensitive to dopamine, the chemical responsible for motivation and pleasure. Exposing yourself to strong stimuli like pornography first thing in the morning causes a sudden spike in dopamine, leading to instant gratification, but also paving the way for emotional imbalance throughout the rest of the day. You might notice it becomes harder to focus, you're more irritable, or you feel an unexplained sense of fatigue or emptiness. Over time, your brain may become lazy, less responsive to the joys of everyday life, like chatting with loved ones, enjoying a walk in the sunshine, or simply savoring a peaceful breakfast. One man shared, "I realized I wasn't excited about anything anymore. Only strong visual content gave me any feeling." That's a clear sign that the brain has become reliant on artificial stimulation. Seeking pleasure isn't wrong, but try setting healthy boundaries. Morning is meant for reconnecting with yourself through breathing, natural light, gentle movement, not flooding the brain with emotional overload. If you still prefer to engage in self-pleasure in the morning, consider using your imagination instead of relying on explicit material. Not only is it healthier for your brain, but it also helps preserve your natural sensitivity, something that naturally declines with age if left unguarded. 3. Masturbating before urinating or without proper hygiene. Many men have the habit of fulfilling their needs right after waking up, skipping over a crucial step, using the bathroom and cleaning up. It may sound simple, but neglecting this small act can silently lead to serious health issues for older men. After a long night, your bladder is typically full, and your urinary tract may contain residual bacteria and waste. If you begin masturbating in this state, not only will it feel uncomfortable, but you might also unintentionally push those bacteria back into the urethra, increasing your risk of urinary tract infections, prostate irritation, or even a burning sensation after ejaculation. For men over 60, the prostate is often already enlarged, which makes urination less efficient. If you stimulate yourself without first emptying your bladder, the risk of minor blockages or irritation increases significantly compared to younger individuals. Unfortunately, most men only realize the issue when discomfort or pain arises. Another risky habit is neglecting to wash your hands or clean your genitals beforehand. Imagine waking up, hands unwashed, your private area still sweaty or carrying bacteria from your pajamas, and then proceeding without any hygiene. That's a recipe for irritation, redness, fungal infections, or skin inflammation, all of which can be extremely uncomfortable at an older age. This may seem like a small matter, but taking just a moment each morning to go to the bathroom, wash your hands, and gently clean your private area with a warm cloth or dry tissue can reduce your risk of infection by up to 70 to 80%. Good hygiene is not about being excessive. It's about showing respect for your body. The older we get, the more our bodies need intentional, respectful care, especially in private and personal moments like this. Overstimulation, or using excessive force. During masturbation, there's one thing many men over 60 may not fully realize. Your body no longer responds the way it did at 30 or 40. The skin becomes thinner, nerve endings more sensitive, and blood flow to the penis gradually decreases over time. Yet many continue to follow the same habits, applying intense pressure, stimulating quickly, or repeating the same methods, without understanding that this could be silently damaging their bodies, bit by bit. You might think, I just need to go a little harder or faster. But the truth is, as we age, our bodies require more gentleness, moderation, and finesse. Squeezing too tightly, stimulating too aggressively, or forcing your body into positions it no longer handles well can lead to consequences you might not notice immediately, such as lingering soreness, light swelling, increased sensitivity, or worse, a gradual decline in stimulation response. Sadly, many men begin to experience sensitivity issues not just due to age, but because years of overly forceful stimulation have dulled their nerves. You may find yourself needing more time or intensity to reach climax, which only leads to more wear and tear. Think of your body like a fine vintage instrument. After 60, it needs to be played with grace and care. If you force it to produce sound, you won't make music. You'll break the instrument. Instead of chasing intensity, focus on sensation. Your breath, heartbeat, the feeling of skin. These are the subtle harmonies your body plays every day, even if you've forgotten how to listen. Masturbation doesn't need to be a race. It can be a moment to reconnect with yourself, with the slower, more meaningful rhythm of aging. You deserve to feel good, without having to trade that pleasure for unseen damage. Begin with something simple. Be gentler, slower, and truly listen to what your body's telling you. 5. Masturbating out of habit, not true desire. One of the most common traps we fall into after 60 is repetition. When you've lived many years with familiar routines, the same mornings, the same evenings, actions become automatic, often done without much thought. Masturbation can become part of that cycle. Something you do because you always have, not because it's truly what you want or feel. You may not even notice. One morning you wake up, don't feel particularly aroused, yet you go through the motions anyway. Not out of desire, but out of habit. Gradually, the connection to yourself fades. The feelings blur, the joy becomes unclear, and intimacy with your own body turns distant and disconnected. Masturbation is not inherently bad, but when it no longer comes from a genuine emotional place, from joy in exploring your body, from a desire to unwind, to feel close to yourself, and instead becomes just another alarm clock in your daily routine, it starts quietly draining your vitality. When was the last time you asked yourself, am I doing this because I really want to, or just because I always do? It seems like a small question, but it holds the power to wake you up. You deserve moments of true presence, even in solitude, even on a quiet morning. If you're not emotionally ready, take time to sip some water, step out on the balcony, feel the fresh air on your skin. Let your body speak before rushing into routine. Being intimate with yourself isn't about the act. It's about whether you are truly present in that moment. 6. Neglecting to care for your body after masturbation. No recovery, no rehydration. After an act of release like masturbation, many older men tend to jump right into their day, as if nothing just happened. They get dressed, have breakfast, do housework, without pausing, without breathing deeply, without a glass of water, without rest. On the surface, this might seem efficient, but in truth, this rush is quietly wearing down your health, day by day. After orgasm, the body enters a recovery phase. Hormone levels shift, blood pressure drops, heart rate slows, and your nervous system seeks balance. If you don't give your body time to reset, especially if you don't drink any water after a long night of dehydration, you're placing added strain on your heart, your nervous system, and your mental clarity. Skipping recovery after masturbation doesn't just leave you tired, irritable, and demotivated. It can also disturb your hormonal balance, affect cardiovascular function, reduce focus, and even disrupt your sleep. You might start your day not feeling energized but strangely drained, without understanding why. You might think, it's just a small act, nothing serious. But sometimes it's the smallest things that make the biggest difference. After masturbating, give yourself a few quiet minutes. Breathe deeply, drink a glass of water, sit in the morning light, or do a few gentle stretches. It's not a luxury, it's respect for your own body. Especially after 60, your body doesn't bounce back as quickly as it used to. But if you care for it properly, it can still reward you with strength, clarity, and stability for many years to come. You don't need much, just enough time to pause, to breathe, to recover, and you'll feel that difference ripple into your mind, your body, and your energy each day. 7. Ignoring the emotional signals behind the act. When emptiness is masked by routine. There are some mornings when you don't truly feel desire. Your body isn't exactly craving anything, and yet you still go through the motions, out of habit, out of reflex, as a way to fill an invisible emptiness. You're not alone in this. Many older men experience the same thing. And the issue isn't that they masturbate, it's that they use it as a coping mechanism for unspoken emotions. Quiet sadness, a sense of isolation, or the dull repetition of days without purpose. Over the years, something that once brought positive feelings becomes a form of emotional escape. There's no longer connection, no longer real satisfaction, just a brief flicker of sensation, followed by the quiet return of emptiness. This doesn't mean you're weak or doing anything wrong. On the contrary, it's your body and mind trying to say something important. You can ask yourself a simple question in the morning: how am I really feeling right now? If the answer is lonely, anxious, sad, or even I don't know, then maybe what you truly need isn't pleasure, but care. A phone call with someone, a slow walk in the park, a familiar song, or just a quiet cup of tea while you sit with your feelings. Sexuality is a healthy part of life, but when it's used to cover up wounds that haven't healed, it can pull you further away from yourself. On the other hand, when you recognize the true reason behind your habits, you're doing something deeply courageous, choosing to listen instead of avoid. And sometimes just a bit of listening is enough to begin a healing journey, one where you no longer feel like you're simply aging, but becoming wiser, more self-aware, and more grounded with each passing day. By now, you've probably realized that the morning, that quiet personal time, is actually the beginning of something much bigger. What you do right after waking up doesn't just shape your morning. It shapes your day, your self-image, and the direction of your health in the years ahead. These 7 seemingly harmless habits, from rushing through watching inappropriate content, skipping hygiene, to repeating routines mindlessly, may be the reason you feel tired, disconnected, less confident, or out of sync with your body. But the most beautiful part is, you can change that. You don't have to give up taking care of yourself. You just have to do it more consciously, gently, and with greater responsibility. Start your morning with a glass of water, a few slow breaths, a moment to feel your heartbeat, and a simple question. What do I truly need today? Maybe you do need closeness, to touch your body with kindness, and that's perfectly healthy. But maybe what you really need is a conversation, a warm glance, a reconnection with someone, or simply a moment of stillness to feel that you're alive and present. Aging doesn't mean losing your emotions. It's the time to live more deeply, more slowly, and above all, more meaningfully. You still have so many days ahead of you, and the quality of those days, your clarity, vitality, joy, and sense of connection, depends more than anything on the small choices you start making today. If this message resonates with you, feel free to leave a comment below saying, "I'm ready to live more mindfully each morning." Share your thoughts, because what you're experiencing might help someone else feel a little less alone in their journey. And don't forget to subscribe to Advice for Seniors to stay connected to these gentle, meaningful reflections, all designed to help you live healthier, happier, and closer to yourself each day. Thank you for staying with us until the end of this video. Wishing you a calm morning and a strong, free, and joyful journey ahead.